Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Rosalie Harms, and I'm the Department Chair of Business and Administration. So this afternoon, we'd like to talk to you a little bit about the program in Business and Admin, followed by then a presentation from our Economics Department. And then we will leave ample time at the end to take any questions that students might have along the way. So I'd like to begin by talking a little bit about what business or the study of business and administration is. So when you are taking a business degree at the University of Winnipeg, what you can anticipate at the end of that degree or during your degree is to develop a really solid foundation of business and management principles in a variety of different topic areas. So we have areas of study would include things like accounting, human resource management, marketing, and operations management. So students that do decide to pursue a degree in business and administration are going to be able to be or will be well positioned to find jobs in a number of different areas. So certainly becoming an accountant is one opportunity. I actually am a CPA and do not only teach in the accounting field, but also do some consulting work in the area. So I'm happy to answer some questions around that at the end. Also, in terms of other types of careers, retail management, becoming a financial analyst, account representative, supervisors, business managers. So in terms of places where you might find opportunities for employment, it would include places like Canada Life or Walwanisa. The banks are often good opportunities for employment. The provincial and federal government provides employment opportunities, as well as the private sector in a variety of different institutions that are looking for students that have expertise in any one of these areas. In terms of the actual program itself, the business department offers both a 3-year and a 4-year BBA. So a BBA just simply stands for a Bachelor in Business Administration. The 3-year Bachelor of Business Administration is 90 credit hour program. So it's designed to be studied over 3 years. This gives you a nice sort of foundational knowledge, but really doesn't give you an opportunity to specialize in any particular area and doesn't give you a great level of depth. So for students that are really interested in pursuing a career in business, we would recommend a 4-year BBA program. And we have a number of different options within that. I'll speak to those in more detail in just a moment. The general stream is exactly that. It allows you to study from across all of those disciplinary areas that I was speaking about earlier. And it is 120 credit hours of study. And it would allow you to take courses in accounting and HR and OB or marketing, international business, and you would put together your degree requirements in those areas that you find interesting and that would lend or kind of give you some experience in the area that you might wish to seek employment later on. We also have a 4-year BBA. So this is a degree that is a joint program with economics and finance. Dr. Pandy, who is the department chair for economics, is going to speak more to this degree option in just a moment. So there's 2 streams. You can take this as a BBA through the business department, or you can take this as a BA through the economics department. And it just simply, your electives are slightly different. So under the BBA stream, you would have more electives from, or more sort of core content from the business department as opposed to the economics department. So we'll speak more about this option in just a moment. In terms of other 4-year degree options, we have concentrations in the following subject matter areas or disciplinary areas. So if a student after second year was very excited about marketing, they could specialize in marketing, alternatively human resource management and organizational behavior, international business, accounting, and cooperative enterprises, which is the actual study of how cooperative enterprises work. So often students don't know what we are referring to when we say cooperative enterprises, but if you think about Red River Co-op, that gas bar or grocery store, that's an example of a cooperative enterprise. So there is a degree that specializes in the study of this area alone. And effective fall of 2022, we will also have a concentration offering in operations and supply chain management. So for students that are starting this fall, they would be ready to be able to make a decision around which concentration area they'd like to specialize by the time they got into the end of year one, which would be perfect timing with the launch of this particular concentration area. Our department also has a master's in management. Currently, we are focused, the degree, this master's degree is focused in operations, innovation, and technology. We are currently looking to expand this to also include a master's in management with a focus in data analytics. So data analytics is becoming increasingly important in business in terms of being able to analyze how a company is working, to be able to identify opportunities for expansion, to be able to better target customers. So data analytics has a lot of different implications and applications throughout the firm. So we are excited to be working towards developing a master's in this particular area. In terms of your high school requirements, in addition to meeting the University of Winnipeg's general admission requirements, you're also going to need to have completed either Pre-Calculus Mathematics 40S or Applied Mathematics 40S. So those are both really important. Those are a foundation and are a prerequisite to get into our first year business courses. So at first year, typically we're asking students to take Intro to Business 1, Intro to Business 2. We'll ask them also to take a quantitative course, which they can take either through economics or through the math and stats department. We'll ask them to also enroll and take in micro economics as well as macroeconomics at the introductory level. So the quantitative foundations prepare you for more advanced studies once you get into second year. So you do definitely need to have IB1 and IB2 along with that quantitative methods course in either economics or in the math stats department to get into all second year courses. And overall, our requirement is a C+ across the board. So once you're in the business program, business department, C+ is the baseline requirement in order to continue on with more advanced courses and move from first to second year and forward. So if you don't have that Math 40S Pre-Cal or Applied, that's all right. Students can complete that at the university in our math and stats department. So Math 0041 and Math 0042, which is offered by the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, will give you an opportunity to pick up that course to be able to get into those business courses as outlined within our program. So that's kind of my 10 minutes to talk a little bit about our program. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Pandey, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the economics department, and then we are happy to take questions from students as we go along. So I just need to unshare here. I've lost my unshare button. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Dr. Pandey.
So Rosalie, can you see my screen? All right. I'm the chair of the Department of Economics, and we just had some technical issues in terms of switching from business to economics. And let me talk with the Department of Economics and the programs that we offer. Uh, uh, so. Uh, the Department of Economics is located on the fourth floor of Buehler Center. The business department is on the third floor. And if you have any questions about the department, the two people that you can reach out to are myself, Manish Pandey, and Alana Dalan, who's our department assistant. Usually we are in our offices on the fourth floor, but given the current circumstances, the best way to reach us is through email, and you can ask any questions about our programs or any of the courses that we offer, and so on, and we'll be happy to assist you with any information that you might need. All right, so before talking about the degree programs that we offer, I thought it would be a good idea to just talk a little bit about what is economics. Economics as a discipline is it's part of the social sciences, and what the economists do is examine the allocation of scarce resources across different needs. To get the best outcome possible for the economy or the society, right? So the idea is, how do we use limited resources to get the best outcome possible? And this analysis essentially, as you can think about, is useful in many different contexts, and not just thinking about the economy as a whole, but also thinking about in different areas where you face constraints and you have to essentially think about how you allocate resources. So that is why economists are sought after in terms of jobs by businesses, by banks, by the government, by international organizations, and economics is also a subject that is useful for students considering pursuing a career in accounting or finance and even law. So yeah, our students have been successful in essentially going into a variety of different areas and having a very different careers in terms of the outcomes that they get. The primary thing that our courses essentially teach you is a way to analyze and a way to think about how to take a question and think about how you would go about answering that question. So let me talk a little bit about the degree programs that we offer. So in terms of the BA in economics, we have a 3-year BA and a 4-year BA in economics, and these degrees build upon each other. So the requirements for the 3-year, for example, then once you complete the requirement for the 3-year BA in economics and you want to continue, you can take more advanced courses and then complete a 4-year BA in economics. And once you and then from the 4-year, you can go even to the honors in economics. The credit requirements are listed there. The 3-year BA in economics would require you to have 90 credit hours. 90 credit hours essentially means a total of 30 courses. Each course is a credit hour. And then these degrees essentially cater to different students, in the sense that when we think about the 3-year and 4-year degrees, these are students that want to get an understanding of economics, but not necessarily pursue graduate studies in economics. If you want to pursue graduate studies in economics, then you're looking at pursuing an honors in economics, because doing an honors degree in economics for most of the graduate programs that are offered in Canada. And what we do in the honors relative to the other relative to the 3-year and 4-year BA programs is that we give students an idea about what kind of research happens in economics, and what are the different tools that they would need to pursue a master's level program in economics or a PhD program, PhD level program in economics. So there are additional courses at the 4,000 level, or what we call the advanced courses that you need to take as part of the honors program, and they prepare you for graduate studies in economics. And that differentiates the honors from the 4-year BA. Those courses are not required. You can still take them, but they're not required in the 4-year program. So in addition, as Rosalie already mentioned, we have the economics and finance degree. And this economics and finance degree is largely managed and maintained by the Department of Economics. Even though we have 2 streams for the economics and finance degree, you can either do a BA economics and finance or a BBA economics and finance. Now, the difference between the two is essentially some core courses that you have to take, whether they are economics or they are business, determines whether you get a BA in economics and finance or a BBA in economics and finance. And this over time has become quite a sought after degree program, just because it prepares you for working in the financial sector. Be it banks, or if you're interested in pursuing a CFA, or working for or pursuing further studies in finance. So this has kind of become a go-to degree for students, and it offers a good combination of economics courses, finance courses, business courses, and quantitative courses that prepare you for a career in finance. So in addition to our undergraduate degrees, we also have a master's degree similar to what Rosalie was talking about for business. We have a master's of arts in applied economics, and this has 2 specializations. The first specialization is environment, resource, and development economics, and the other one is policy analysis. And what the focus of this master's program is to train train students who have done an honors in economics to do policy analysis and basically be able to take the understanding of economics and apply it to policy discussions and try and figure out solutions to problems in terms of framing of policy, in terms of implementing policies, and in terms of then evaluating the outcomes of the policies as well. So the last thing I want to mention, and this is again very similar to what business has, is we have the same math high school course requirements as business. We have a requirement for either you must have a pre-calculus mathematics 40S or an applied math 40S or equivalent to take courses in economics. And students who lack this background can complete these by taking Math 41 or Math 42 at the university's Department of Mathematics and Statistics. So all this information is available on our fact sheets, and if you go to the website for the economics department on the for the University of Winnipeg, what you would find is also guidance on what courses to take in the first year, what would be the recommendation, what would be our recommendation for how to progress with the degree and how to plan your degree and so on. And that would give you a good sense of what to do and how to continue with pursuing an economics degree at the University of Winnipeg. So with that, I would conclude my brief presentation here and take any questions that you may have, and then and look forward to discussing this further with you. So thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to your questions.
So there was one question, which was about becoming a CFO or a CEO. I answered from the perspective of an accountant, which is always, go pursue your accounting designation and then get some good experience, and you're well positioned for a career as a CFO. But I think, Dr. Pandya, you may have a different pathway in mind. And so it was with relation to our programs and our courses. So I don't know if you'd like to also comment on becoming a CFO or a CEO.
Well, yeah, I mean, just taking these courses won't make you a CFO or a CEO, as we know. I mean, that would depend on the experience that you get after that. But in terms of preparing you for the analytical capability that you would need to do the job of a CFO or CEO, you would get all the training that you would need. The experience then you have to acquire, and then work your way through an organization or organizations to get the required skills that you can only get from working in the field that you're interested in. So absolutely, I mean, yeah, this is the start of it, but these days I think we give you the foundation, then you have to take that foundation and build on that through your experience to then progress in your career.
Absolutely. So another question, is there any advantage to obtaining the BA diploma at Red River College and then pursuing the 4-year BBA at the University of Winnipeg? I would suggest that probably just starting at the University of Winnipeg right away is the best plan, unless there was a particular reason that you wanted to maybe take some courses to upgrade or things like that. But I think we have everything at the University of Winnipeg to support you through your university degree. So if the math is the piece that's holding you up a little bit, we can, work with you to make sure you get that Math 40S pre-cal or applied. And we have a direct entry program into our degree. So you can begin with your first year taking business courses and economics courses and working towards either that BA in economics or the BBA in the Department of Business and Administration. The challenge with taking programs at other institutions first is that not necessarily all courses will transfer over directly, and the laddering process is a little bit different from one institution to the next. So if you're thinking about it, we would just welcome you into our BBA program right from year one and encourage you to pursue your 4-year BBA with us.
So let me take Jason's question here. And Jason is asking, if I've been out of the university for more than 10 years, do you recommend taking a math course as a refresher? I would suggest yes, because it'll just make it easier for you to take the courses that follow. So you should consider it, but of course it depends on. I mean, you can evaluate this yourself by going back to your to seeing if you can pick up these math skills on your own. If you've already taken the course, you might want to just refresh that course by yourself and see and self-evaluate, and then see how you feel about it. And we can discuss this as well. I mean, if you want, we can give you more information about the math requirement for the courses and things like that we have, and how much math you would need to know for the courses.
So there's a question here. There's a couple more. So can you speak to the combined course with Red River College? The combined joint program is a program that is currently under review. We are looking to redevelop what they call the articulation agreements. Those are the transfer agreements. I would probably suggest starting at the University of Winnipeg right from sort of the beginning of your degree, so that you don't get caught in between different transfer agreements and transfer schedules. So, and I think that a university degree is going to position you well. A 4-year university degree is going to position you well for any other types of programs or accreditations or designations that you might want to get. So if you want to go on to be an accountant, you'll need a 4-year degree. If you want to go on and do your Chartered Human Resource Professional, your 4-year degree is helpful with that. So I think it well positions you. So it's probably best just to start at the university in year one, as I said, with a direct entry degree and move from there. If you want to start a business, we can certainly provide you the foundation courses to do that. So you need a good foundation in economics. You need to understand that outside world. We talk about entrepreneurship from the perspective of understanding really what is an environmental scan. Economics really helps you with that, understanding policy, understanding governmental structure, understanding the economy. So, and then business allows you then to really start developing some strength in the fundamentals, like how do I set up my books and create internal control for my business? How do I market my business? How do I make sure that I have enough money in my accounts to run my business? And where do I find financing? So the two programs combined, and we do draw on one another for our programs as well. So in business, we do ask for you to have at least an introductory level of economics, because we know how important that is. So. All right, there's some new questions coming. All right, so is U of W faculty or business similar to the U of M faculty of business? I think they're structured differently. So U of M, you do need to have a pre-qualifying year, and then you're competing for a space in the ASPA program. So that is different from U of W, where we do allow that direct entry. In terms of the content of the courses, a lot of those second, third, and fourth year courses look similar. I think U of M, if you want to, I know we get students who want to complete a 4-year degree in 3 years. We are not designed for you to do that. We are designed for you to be able to complete a 4-year degree in 4 years. We don't have as robust of a spring offering as U of M does, but I think that we have other things that set us apart, certainly smaller class sizes, certainly that direct entry piece. So U of W offers a lot in that regard. Your first year, as I had mentioned, would include some courses in micro and macroeconomics, Intro to Business 1 and 2. There's an economics sort of a mathematical readiness course or quantitative course that you would take either with economics or with math and stats. So those are kind of your 5 of your 10 courses if you were going to take a full course load in first year, and then you'd want to take some of your electives in some other areas. We would recommend certainly taking statistics as well in your first year. I know it's not required per se for the degree, but it is required for some of the more advanced courses. So if you did want to do accounting, for example, or finance, statistics is really, really important. And you can certainly take 5 or 6 years to do your degree. I think lots of students do take 5 to 6 years because they have other obligations. They may be working, they want flexibility. So within that, we do try to provide a flexible schedule when we are not in a pandemic. We do offer evening courses, later in the day courses for students that are working. And so we're trying to create a balance and accessibility for students in all fronts. All right, I don't see any other new questions at the moment. Oh, one new comment. Let's see. From previous years, how successful were people after taking the 4-year BBA general stream? That's a really good question, and I don't think I have a really good answer. That is probably our most popular stream. So we have the most students coming through the general stream. I do hear and do run into students, I've been teaching for a while, that have come through our programs in a variety of different industries. We've had students go over and work for Apple. We've had students go over and, work in banks and all over the place. I think what you'll find is once you get, even if it is a general stream degree, you still have the same requirement for a number of 3rd year and 4th year courses. The difference is you're not specializing in one particular concentration. So I think that has value as well because it allows you to be a little more rounded and well-versed in all of the subject matter areas as opposed to just one area. You may find though at the end of 2nd year that, hey, I love marketing, and you decide that you want to specialize in marketing. Or, we do have many students that specialize in 2 areas. So they do a double concentration in marketing and international business, or a double marketing or a double degree, double concentration in accounting and human resource management, for example. So outside of the pandemic, are classes offered online? Some are. We are not an online university per se, but we do have a smattering of courses that are offered in an online format. I know economics has a few courses as well. Those typically have a cycle, so they're typically the same courses in each semester, so you can plan around that. Some courses are better suited to online learning than others as well. So we don't want to put you in courses. I teach Introductory to Financial Accounting. That's a really tough course in an online environment. So we tend to shy away from that. But other types of courses that are more discussion-based and interactive may work better in an online environment where there's synchronous lectures, meaning it's on a Zoom and you're talking and you're sharing ideas and things like that. And then, do you recommend the co-op program? So there's 2 things. We have a cooperative enterprises stream, which is a specialization in how cooperative enterprises are structured and work from a business perspective. And then we have a co-op placement program where you can, at the end of your first year, apply into the co-op program and get credit for taking these co-op placements in the summer months. And I would recommend them both. So, but then I'm kind of a cheerleader for the business department, but both are great options. So, and I think once you get into the university, we'll help you navigate through those things and make sure that, you know, you're doing the best things for yourself in terms of your own career goals and your career path. All right. Are there more questions? We're really at a loss. So Manish and I can see each other. We have no idea who's out there or how many of you there are if there's only two of you.
There are still 36 people.
36 people? Okay, perfect. That's great. Oh. Okay. Oh, so what is the average amount of people who are in first year classes? So typically business is our biggest, first year has got our largest classes. So typically 50 to 55 students for intro to business. Is it the same for economics, Manish?
Economics, you could get a little bit larger. You could be about 65 or so, 65 to 70 would be the cap for intro. And then our second year courses are usually around 40, 45.
Yeah, so our second year classes tend to stay at about the 50, 55 range. Again, it depends on disciplinary area. Human resource management class sizes are around 40, accounting usually around 55 or 60. And then third year is probably around that 40 student mark. And then into fourth year, anywhere from 20 to 40 students, once again, depending on the disciplinary area.
But yeah, in general, what we try to do is keep our class sizes small and manageable so that we get more interaction between student and faculty. And I think that is one of the unique things about the University of Winnipeg is that most of the instructors know their students, even starting from the first year. So, and that is because of our smaller class sizes and having more interaction with the students in class. Of course, in the online world, things have changed a little bit, but we are hoping once we are back in person, it will be back to having more interaction with students.
Yeah, so as you probably know, I've mentioned, so I teach in the accounting concentration as well as I teach entrepreneurship. But we have an accounting program that maps to the CPA association standards. And then some of our faculty also teach in the CPA professional program. So some of us actually get to see students right from second year right through to when they are ready to become a CPA and they're writing their final exams. So we really like that ability to be with students as they grow and progress through their degree and launch into their careers. So there's something quite satisfying and about being able to walk through that path with students as they grow, they develop, and they mature into young business professionals or economists. All right, don't be shy.
Yeah, and if you have some specific questions, we have our booths open as well. So if you want to have a more detailed conversation on anything, you have the economics and finance booth and the business booth. There are faculty there waiting to answer questions that you might have. So yeah, if you want more detailed answers to questions, please feel free to pop into the booths.
So Dr. Duval sent me a text. He is sitting in the business booth saying, I just want to talk to some students. So send them over. So please do. They do want to talk to you. They do want to answer your questions. And they do want to help you make some good decisions around your career choices and whatever next steps you're going to take.
We can wait for another minute and see if there's any question, and then we'll probably end this session.
Perfect.
So I couldn't figure out what you saw during the technical glitch that I was having, but it was kind of a blank screen for me, and then everything just froze.
I got thrown out. So
yeah, same thing happened to me. I think I got thrown out as well, and then I had to come in.
Okay, so can you tell us about some of the extracurricular opportunities available to students in the FB? Yeah, so and our students are trying desperately hard to continue these extracurricular activities under the current pandemic events. But we do have a number of student organizations. I can talk a little bit about business. The business, we do have the Business Administrative Students Association, and they look to put on events during Frosh Week, which is the beginning of term when we're in person. They look to host events such as graduation dinner and dance. So they're looking networking events and things like that. We have the University of Winnipeg Accounting Students Association, which is specific to helping students with CPA recruitment, getting summer placements. We have our JDC West team, which is a competition team that every year competes in at various places in Western Canada, and it is a case competition against other institutions across Western Canada, as mentioned. So those are just a few of the things from the business department, but I know economics has some groups and events as well. So I think there is the finance committee. There's a finance group, Manish, right? There's a group of students that have a finance. Not sure what they do.
Yeah, so I just pointed some things out in the chat. So about FESA, so Finance and Economics Students Association group is the active group that essentially is for economics and finance students. And what they do is they do a lot of lunch and learn type events, and then networking and seminars and things like that. And also part of it is also the UWIG, which is the University of Winnipeg Investment Group, which is a group of finance students that manage a portfolio, and they have portfolio competitions and things like that in terms of stock markets and stuff. So it's a pretty active group in terms of a lot of different things happening. And of course, what we encourage students is to bring new ideas of things that can be done, and both departments support these ideas and like to work with our students to do something new and fresh and try and see what other things would be of interest to students and also of use to students.
Absolutely. So can you speak to some pros and cons of the 3-year BBA versus the 4-year? Well, I love education, so I'm going to say do the 4-year. So the 4-year is certainly going to give you a broader range of depth, right? So a 3-year, we just kind of teach you at second year about all of the different fundamentals. You take a few courses at third year, and then suddenly you decide to leave us, and we have so much more we want to teach you. So a 4-year degree certainly positions you better for competitively as a student looking for a job. Certain programs such as the CPA, the accounting program, requires a 4-year degree or 120 credit hours of study. So we're seeing some of the professional associations asking for those 4-year degrees. To be fair, sometimes students say, well, okay, I finished 3 years. I need to go get a job. It's expensive to come to school. We get that. One of the benefits of the 3-year BBA is that if you can get employed with your BBA, but you can continue to study towards your 4-year. So you have the benefit of having a degree and saying, I am a university graduate while you're working and while you're still continuing your studies. And when you satisfy the requirements for the 4-year, you can actually surrender your 3-year degree and get your 4-year degree. So those are a couple of the pros and cons around that. But I would certainly recommend that you pursue or look to pursue a 4-year degree towards, that should be the ultimate end goal. There may just be different pathways throughout that. So can you speak to the joint program with Red River? So I did a little bit already. That joint program is currently the articulation agreements, which are the transfer agreements between the institutions, is under review. So those programs right now, I can't give you a lot of information because Red River and U of W are working towards, at least with the business and economics department. I cannot speak to other departments across campus. So there's joint programs with other departments like rhetoric and communications. I can't speak to those programs. I can only speak to those programs related to business and economics, and those are currently under review right now or renegotiation of some level. These are great questions. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
this was interesting. I think the questions were more interesting than our presentation, I thought.
Oh, for sure. At least mine.
Yeah, and then we are significantly over our time, so that's okay. We can hang around
Yeah,
for a few more minutes to see if there are
more
additional
minutes.
questions. No, and this was good to do it with you, Rosalie, because I think doing it alone would be very difficult. Then one of us is monitoring the chat, the other is talking, and you can kind of do it
Yeah,
easier that way. I mean,
yeah. No, this
yeah,
is a good idea. We're still learning too. This whole online environment, as you saw, is new to us as well, as one gets thrown out and the other's trying to log back in. So hopefully you've at least gotten most of your questions answered today. And you still do have 15 or 20 minutes to head over to the booths and ask questions as
yeah,
well
and I
if you'd
and
like.
I thought at 5:30 we would be cut off, but we were never cut off, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I still see that there are a few people. There are about 20 students or participants in the list. So we have another question. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh,
So can you
it's
clarify the piece about Red River? Yeah. You know what? Really can't speak to that. I don't know. It's not my, it's not, that's above my pay grade. So I just, there will be some sort of, I would imagine there will be some sort of an agreement between the two institutions. We've been working together for a very long time. But I can't say what that is. I can say, and this I can say with relative certainty, you do a full 2 years at Red River. We have never granted a full 2 years of transfer credit at U of W. So that likely will not change. So that is one thing for students to recognize is for example, and I can speak to this because I do a lot of work in this area, Introduction to Financial Accounting is a 3 credit hour or 1 term course at U of W. Red River takes 2 terms to do it. So those 2 courses are only equal to 1 course at U of W. So that at least gives you some perspective on why it's not a 1-for-1 transfer. Their focus is a bit different. It's much more applied. So Red River takes a very applied approach to education, whereas we are implied is important. We do include that, but we also include the theoretical underpinnings and the academic foundation at a bit of a different level, because we also want to prepare students for the option of graduate studies at the end of 4 years as well. So the approach is slightly different. That's not to say Red River is not a great option for some students. So, for some students, they just want to do a 2-year Red River diploma. That's great, but do not expect that full diploma will transfer in as a full 2 years at the University of Winnipeg. It likely will not. Okay, could you recap the differences between U of W and U of M courses? Other than pre-Cal 40S, what other high school courses required or suggested? So I'm going to touch on the high school piece for a second. This is a really good conversation to have with your guidance counselors. They can provide you information and guidance on what you need to have to get into the university. So there's different nuances. We are not admissions experts, so I do not want to provide advice and guidance on something that I'm not an expert in. So please do talk to your guidance counselors. They're there to help you with
Yeah.
exactly this
So
piece.
we can just talk about the
And
requirement, right? So I mean, in terms of specific requirements, the pre-cal 40S is the specific requirement for the faculty. But what
yes,
specific courses you would want to take? I mean, if you take an economics course in high school, it'll help you understand the material better when you come to university, but those are not required. The other requirements, yes, you would have to talk to your guidance counselor to figure out exactly what the other requirements are and so on.
yeah, absolutely. And then could you recap the differences between U of W and U of M courses? I don't think there's a large difference between the quality of the courses. I think it's just the program structure. So U of M has, my understanding, and I believe it's been this way for a number of years. I don't know that it's changed. But if you want to take a business degree, you do need to take a 1-year University 1 program first, and you need to apply for a space or a placement in Asper School of Business in second year. So whereas University of Winnipeg, the business department is direct entry. So that is the big difference in terms of introductory financial accounting at U of M versus
introductory
accounting at U of W, that's pretty much
and I can say the same for economics. It's pretty much similar degree structures for both University of Manitoba and us in terms of preparation of students. So and largely our courses have been mapped with each other to provide transfers. So we know that the content is pretty similar in the two universities. I think what differentiates us from U of M is the class sizes, and that is what we emphasize more, especially in economics. When you and especially when you're taking upper level courses in economics, that is where it matters more how much you get as how much of the instructor time you get in terms of helping you out with the material and so on, and how much guidance you can get in terms of what to do next from your instructors, and having that interaction with them.
Okay, so it would take another 3 years of study at U of W after getting the BA diploma. I'm assuming you mean Red River College. I cannot answer that because that articulation agreement is currently under review and being negotiated between the two institutions. So if you are at all worried that you are only going to get 1 year of credit by doing Red River and you really want a university degree, I would just start with my university degree and start right there. I just cannot provide you with those specifics. I can tell you right now that probably students are only getting up to 33 credit hours, which is 11 courses, or one course plus a little bit from a second year for transfer credit right now. I don't know what that'll look like afterwards, but that is what the interim agreement says. So there's 33 hours of credit being assigned to a completed 2-year diploma. And then it is only students with a 3.0 GPA, so a B average or better with the completed diploma, that would be able to get credit for courses. So yeah, so I wish I could give you more information. We just don't have that information available right now. It's a part of an ongoing discussion and working arrangement between the two institutions. Okay. All right. Well, it's just about 10 to 6. So thank you everyone for your time. I think we'll end it here. Yeah, so if you have a few more questions, there's still, again, your faculty, your guidance counselors at school can also direct you on more information from the institution, or how to get more information from us as well if you haven't received everything you wanted today. And of course, you can certainly reach out to the departments, and we're happy to provide links. I know both economics and business have websites, so we have a pretty robust Department of Business and Administration website. Please check it out, and it may answer a lot of those questions. We have a frequently asked questions section, so if you have some questions that weren't answered, that might be a good place to go to get some of those answers or find that information.
And same for economics, that you have a lot of information on our webpage, specifically if you're a first year students, what kind of courses to take and how to progress with your degree, and how to do your degree planning, and I think that helps students to essentially start thinking about how to go about pursuing a degree at the university, and specifically in economics, and same applies for business. So yeah, just visit our websites and get the information, and if you need any further information, absolutely reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help you out. All right, so with that, bye.
Great.
And have
Thanks.
a nice evening.
Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye for now.